So hey guys, woo! It has been a long time, and I haven't posted in a while. But I wanted to give you guys somewhat of an update. This video is probably gonna be really heavy, but it's just something that I really wanted to talk about. I know like normal people or some people usually write down their feelings, or they have some sort of way of expressing themselves, and I personally like video. I like making videos for YouTube and things like that, because I feel like the videos that I do put out can help other people that maybe feel like they're in the same space. So to get started, a lot has happened. I don't even know when the last time I posted a video. So as you can see, I'm in a different space. I bought a house, and this is my photography room. Well, one corner of it, because I am still getting things together. That's another video in itself to talk about the house. But I wanted to talk about a video I posted on here. It's titled Cutting Ties, and the reason why I want to talk about that video is because the person that I was talking about in the video passed recently, and I just kind of want to talk about it. It's been a rough couple weeks, but I want to talk about it too, because in the video I was explaining a lot of things that was going on with our whole relationship, and I don't want this video to come off as like, oh, now because of what's going on, it's like I'm taking away from what I said, because I don't take back or want to minimize anything that I went through, but I have had my eyes opened up to a lot of things now. And again, I just want to talk about those things because I feel like it is part of my healing process. A lot of the dialogue in that video, I tend to continue to say is like, I don't understand, I don't know why, or things like that, things of that nature. And the reason being is because, you know, when you're in a relationship with somebody, especially when you have been with each other for so long, and I went through a lot with that person, and I actually, you know, sacrificed a lot of my own things or my own time or my own stuff to kind of be there for him. And when I just didn't understand why he would do that to me. So I think a lot of the things in the video was merely being hurt, really, to be honest, like not understanding, not getting the closure, nothing, just kind of just having to live with the decision or the cards that were dealt to me. After that video, I did say that I didn't want to be associated with him or anybody that was from that realm. And I don't know, like during that time, I thought that you know, every decision that I made was based off, you know, what happened. So I did in fact get the divorce, and I did in fact get a restraining order, because I felt that that was what I needed to do for myself. It was a hard decision to do, because when you marry somebody, that is not ever what you think of doing. So it was a hard decision, but I knew that I had to do it. I am the first to say that I am an enabler. I think I've said it in the video too. When just the person that I am, if I know you need help, or I know that I have it or I can do it, I am going to do it, no questions asked. But that's just how I am. And I knew that if I continued to stay in that place or stay in that relationship, he was never going to be who he needed to be. I do want to say that, again, this is a hard situation. And to be perfectly honest, I had no idea that I was going to feel the way that I feel until I got that call. Because it's not that I left him because I didn't love him. I left him because he wasn't being the man I needed him to be. So I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm not like mad at anybody or being like, oh, I can't wait to, whatever, because I'm not that type of person, honestly. I don't have like hate in my heart or anything like that. This, again, I'm just talking to feel better about the situation. But what I am going to do is I got a letter. So when that happened, when I did the Cutting Ties video, the end of that year, I received a letter and a card for my birthday from him. And I read it, but I never responded. And I want to respond, in a sense, because I know he can't really do anything with it now, but I just want to get this off my chest and just go on with it. So I'm not gonna read the whole thing because there's a lot of stuff in here, but I do want to read that he did say he apologized and he knew that he hurt me and he hurt himself all in one. And he said that he forgave himself so that he was able to move on in general. So that's from the beginning. And then I'm gonna read the end where it says, I forgive you and I want you to live and be happy still, nothing but the best for you. I will never forget what you taught me, nor will I forget you. Maybe one day we can talk, maybe not. It's crazy how everything you wanted from me and what you want me to be is what I am going to become. It feels unfair even to me that now I want to settle down and just live my life, and I'm doing it alone. But everything happens for a reason. Just forgive yourself just forgive yourself and continue to live, sweet pea. My life is only beginning now that I found my purpose and my worth. Well, you know where I am, so do as you choose if you want to talk. If not, shit, I get it. Love is love. Do good, look good, and feel good. Stay blessed, queen. Happy birthday. So I never responded to the letter or anything that he sent or anything, due to the fact that, one, I had a restraining order, and two, I was trying to, I don't know, because even in my video, I believe I said there was times where we got into it or we broke up and did things, and I would always be the one to kind of fix it or try to talk to him so he could come back, or things like that. I mean, there was a couple of times when he did too, but I'm just saying, I just felt like I was doing it, and for the times that I was doing it, I should not have. I felt like, you know what I mean, when you're in a relationship, you're kind of it's that tough love type of situation where it's you want them to, you have to do something drastic for them to get oh, okay, and I think a lot of times, especially now with the times that we're in with social media and everything else, everything is so accessible, or people are so accessible, so it's sometimes they get caught up in dealing with love over lust, or trying to figure out what it is they actually really want to do, because they're comparing themselves to people that live somewhere else, or a facade that they're putting on social media. So I kind of felt like if he felt that grasses were greener on the other side, he would never know until I had to cut all the access of me off, so that he would have to rely only on what he thought was greater. And it wasn't until like being on my own for that little bit of time, that I felt like I needed to do this for me as well, because I needed to, you know, go through the things that I had to go through, and then, you know, self-love and worrying about just myself and stuff like that. So, you know, over time I just felt like it was a good decision. Now that he's no longer here, I honestly feel like, and not to say that what he did was right or anything, because I don't, but I just feel like now that my life has got me in the chokehold, like literally since the fire, which I posted, and everything that's been happening after, it is so hard to balance life, your lifestyle, being in a relationship, and just life in general, like things that happen to you during your life. Like, it's very hard. And if you don't have those skills, like communicating and, you know, balancing and all those other things are positive ways to navigate through life, then you tend to make bad decisions. Now, again, I did say I am not making excuses for what I said previously in the video. I'm not. But because of my life is the way it is now, and being that I'm in a new relationship, I see it from a different perspective. When you are going through a lot of things, sometimes you're not the greatest person, and your partner has to deal with that. And I just feel like with his life being the way it was, I get it. Okay, I don't know how to explain it, because I don't ever want to think that like the actions that transpired were okay, because they were not. But at the same time, I get it now, and I don't know if things are happening in my life now because that is my message that I am supposed to get, because I feel like before, especially when I was a kid, you know, when we first were dating, like I didn't understand a lot of things because I wasn't subjected to that stuff. I didn't have any issues. Majority of the things that I was dealing with or issues I had was the stuff I took on from him, or things that I was trying to do to make things comfortable for him. But I didn't have any of my own issues that I had to deal with or stress about. So I feel like I just have another understanding. I also seen it was kind of like a quote, and it was like along the lines of like, there's people that come into your life at different times for different things. For lessons, or they teach you, you know, they teach you things or stuff like that. And I remember being hurt and in that space when I first made the Cutting Ties video. I know like how I felt, and I just felt like I wasted time. I wasted time because I devoted a part of my life to someone who I felt like didn't accept it or appreciate it. But now I feel like, again, I have a different perspective on things. I feel like the relationship wasn't necessarily for me, it was for him. Because I felt like I provided a different perspective on life, and that's why he decided to do things a certain way towards the end. And it's unfortunate that things happened the way they did, and he was not able to live out his purpose that he so strongly talked about. But I do feel like I influenced that. And I'm not just trying to brag on myself. Like I said that before, like this is not for that. I'm literally just saying like, I just know that, and I'm proud that I was a positive in his life, even though, you know, he was dealing with his own life and everything else. And you know, it's always good to have that, to be honest. And even with my relationship going forward, like I mean, I feel like the roles kind of reversed a little bit, and you know, it's been really hard for me. Like life is literally, like I said, has had me in the chokehold. So I just appreciate that she has been that positive for me. And because of that, that's why I'm able to see how being as somebody being positive in your life can change and alter like the things that are you're going through, you know, when you have that support. So I don't know, I just it's very it's a sad situation. It's something that I still don't get. I don't like, it doesn't feel real. But yeah, I don't know. It's just really, really, whew, it's really something. I know, like, when I first got the news, I think my biggest regret was not responding to him, or not, or maybe I took it too far because, like, you know, I cut off all like access to me, with whether that be with his family, everybody. Like, I just fell off the face of the earth, you know. And I feel like I had to, not even just for him, but like for myself, because when I just felt like I became too dependent on, like, my whole life was him, and I needed to find my own identity. I needed to learn that even if being in a relationship, you still have to have your own identity as well. So I feel like it was like a learning phase and transition for myself. It wasn't just for him. And I know, like, when seeing the family and stuff, that my biggest thing was like apologizing, because I was like, I am so sorry that I even, you know, cut all of you guys off and did what I did. And to hear that they understood why, and they understood why, and they, you know, they weren't at like, they were not like how I thought they were going to act. So I feel like that made me feel better, because not that I needed anybody's approval, but at the same time, it's like, when people understand you, it makes you feel more confident in your decision. Because there was a time where, like I said, you know, when you marry somebody, you don't think like, oh, I'm just gonna get divorced. It's kind of like, you know, you make that decision. So when I had to go through with that and do everything that I had to do to kind of cut off, literally cutting ties, it was just a lot, and it was hard, and I did it, and it just made me feel really good that you know, they knew what I was trying to do. I feel like our relationship was like a lot of lessons. It wasn't just revolved around just like, oh, I love you too, or I love, you know, this or that. It was literally like pushing each other to the limit. Like, I know in the cutting ties video, and you know, like, I mean, when you're talking about an ex, you literally, majority of the times you talk about just the negative things that they do to you, or why you guys broke up, what caused you guys to break up. But I just want to put out there as well that, like, I learned so much from that relationship. Being in that relationship, like, I felt like he pushed me to things that I didn't think I was gonna be able to do. Like buying or getting a place and being able to maintain it, as well as maintain like living and taking care of him at the time when he was incarcerated. Things that I would not think that I would be able to do, I did because of being in that relationship. I'm confident to know that, like, I can take care of things and, you know, balance out like things that I'm supposed to do and stuff like that. So I don't want to just focus on the negative. I also want to focus on the positive and the things that I learned from that relationship, because it is ultimately a part of my life. And yeah, so I know this was a sucky video to come back had to. But like I said, I really just wanted to get this off my chest in hopes that I can, you know, get through and feel better, because I mean, some days I'm fine and everything's, you know, okay, like I'm okay to talk about stuff, and then other days it just seems like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. I feel like like I'm just completely devastated, and I didn't think that I was going to react like that, because we haven't had like actual conversation in the last 2 years. So it's kind of like that out of sight, out of mind thing. So I didn't think that I was going to be so overwhelmed. But at the same time, I spent a lot of my life with this person, and it's just hard to get that type of news, because especially with me, like when you're in love with somebody, when you love them unconditionally, that means like with or without you still love that person. And I feel like even if we weren't together or wouldn't be together, even if that was like in my mind, like, okay, we're never gonna get back together or whatever the case may be, I still like had that sense of like, I hope he's okay, or I hope he's doing well, or, you know, like it was kind of like I just wanted to see like that he was still going to be better, or, you know, like, I don't know, I just never thought that I would get that call. I mean, 10 years is a long time for anything, so I don't know. This is definitely going to be a journey. This is definitely going to be, you know, something else that I am going to try my best to be transparent about, like how I feel and things like that, because again, this can help somebody else. But yeah, I do want to unbox this, so I'm gonna wait until my girlfriend comes home so that we can do it together, because I kind of want her to see it too. But just to give you a little what is it called, sorry, just to give you like what is it, to like explain it to you. So I was on Instagram and I seen this artist on her page, and she painted a picture of a woman with her chest is open, and she's sewing it back shut, and the piece was called Healing. And at the time when I seen it, it was like when I was transitioning from like being in that relationship and then trying to figure out who I was and what I need to do for myself. So before I even started dating anyone else, this is like just when I was like in that space. And I messaged her and I was just like, I really love this piece. Like I really love it so much. Like I feel like it speaks to me. Like it was at that time where I just needed it. So she actually painted the same piece but of me. So I haven't seen it yet in person. Like she sent me like different samples and stuff while she was doing it, but I have not seen the actual piece in person. It has been here for a while and I have not opened it yet because renovations and things that's been happening with the house. But I do want to show you, this is her name, and she's super sweet, super sweet. So when my girlfriend gets home, I am going to have her open it with me, and then we'll talk a little bit about it, and yeah.